仲直りするような関係だったんだ。浅井ちゃんだっけ？お友達。血が出てるぞ。人間のってことはまた明日、友達。
Welcome to Call of the Night, an anime where hot vampires, teen romance, and nighttime activities, wink wink, all come together. Ko Yamari is a 14-year-old rebel who loves to sneak out and explore the world at night. It makes him feel alive and free, like he belongs in the darkness. Unfortunately, Ko has been having trouble sleeping lately, and it's starting to take a toll on him. Maybe he needs more nighttime escapades to tire him out? Who knows? On top of all that, Ko recently received a love letter in his locker from a girl who clearly has the hots for him, but he rejected her, explaining that he's just not ready for the dating scene yet. Poor guy, he's got a lot on his plate for a second-year middle schooler. While going out at night to quell his thoughts, Ko meets a mysterious baddie. As they stroll along, she notices Ko's drowsiness and suggests they head back to her place. Inside the elevator, she drops a bombshell. She's a sleep advisor with the gift of helping people snooze better. They reach her apartment and she invites Ko to share her futon. As she takes off her coat, Ko's mind starts racing with dirty thoughts, but she quickly clarifies that they're just going to sleep. Despite feeling uneasy, Ko is stopped from leaving with the assurance that he'll wake up refreshed in the morning. No funny business guaranteed. Okay, so picture this. Ko and this girl are chilling on a futon, right? She tells him to close his eyes, and he's like, this is kind of weird, but okay. So he decides to pretend he's sleeping so he can bounce out of there later, but then she starts asking if he's sleeping and he doesn't say anything. Next thing he knows, she's biting his neck. She's loving it, but Ko is freaking out. He finds some blood and calls her out on it, but she's like, oh, that was just a big mosquito I smacked. Yeah, right. But before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Who is your favorite waifu in anime? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out in a future video. Now, back to the recap. Ko starts wondering if she's a vampire, and she's like, yep, I am. Ko's like, oh snap, am I gonna turn into a vampire too? But she shuts that down real quick. She's like, nah, you gotta fall in love with a vampire to become one. And Ko's like, what the heck? Why didn't you turn me then? She's like, bro, making new family members every time I eat would be annoying. I'm just here for the blood, not the babies. So there you have it. Ko's not gonna become a vampire unless he catches feelings for this girl. Wild, right? The girl tells Ko he can stay out as long as he wants, and that's not a bad way to live, but then Ko drops another bombshell. He wants to become a vampire. He knows he would never have the courage to do it himself, but after experiencing the night, it's the first time he's wanted to do something. Ko asks her to turn him into a vampire and let him fall in love with her. Finally, the girl introduces herself as the vampire Nazuna Nanakusa. Looks like things are about to get interesting. The next few nights, things start to slow down a bit. Multiple times, Ko can't find where Nazuna is, and he ends up not getting his blood sucked. Poor guy. Bro just wants to turn into a vampire, but his pseudo-girlfriend is nowhere to be found. One night, he finally meets up with Nazuna and discovers that she's been feeding off random people. What a scandal. A little bit jealous, Ko wants to be the exclusive person Nazuna feeds off of. In order to solve their communication problem, Ko buys Nazuna a walkie-talkie watch that they both can talk with. It is also revealed that he had set up another walkie-talkie before, hoping that someone would pick it up and chat with him. But before Nazuna, nobody had responded to his old walkie-talkie. As Ko heads home, he spots his old walkie-talkie and starts reminiscing about his lost device. Suddenly, the darn thing rings, making him jump out of his skin. To his surprise, a girl sporting the exact same transceiver sneaks up on him and greets him by name, wondering what he's up to. Looks like Ko's nostalgia trip just got a lot more interesting. As it turns out, Akira, Ko's old classmate, had picked up the walkie-talkie back in middle school but never called Ko using it. They get to talking and reminiscing about the good old days. Ko notices that she's out awfully early, and Akira responds by saying that she likes to get up early for school. For the next few days, Ko has a new routine. He meets up with Nazuna so she can suck his blood, and then goes to Akira. Whoa, what a playboy. Eventually, Nazuna finds out about Akira and the three go to a bar for breakfast. Akira still doesn't believe that Nazuna is a vampire, and this upsets the bloodsucker. Ko goes after Nazuna but can't find her. After apologizing for meeting Akira without telling her, Nazuna forgives him and kisses Ko. What a steamy scene. As it turns out, Nazuna kissed Ko just to get to suck his blood at the same time. This girl is really playing with my boy's feelings for real. Ko's out for the night and itching to find Nazuna. He spots her easy peasy and bam, decides to keep his distance. As he wanders, the kiss replays in his mind and he realizes only lovebirds smooch like that. Suddenly, he's hit with the realization that he might be head over heels for Nazuna. But wait, did he also become a bloodsucker or what? As it turns out, the requirement for vampirification has not been fulfilled just yet. Ko, Akira, and Nazuna all meet up and the trio go back to Nazuna's place to play video games for God knows how long. 3 of them were chilling on the futon, but Akira felt super awkward and just wanted to leave. She mumbled something about waiting outside of school for a couple of hours and started to get up. Then, Nazuna drops the bomb that it's raining cats and dogs and she's got no umbrella. So, Akira caves and stays put, but it's not exactly a fun time. To make matters worse, Nazuna starts gnawing on Ko's neck and Akira is about ready to lose her mind. Eventually, all 3 of them fall asleep and Akira wakes up late for school. Uh-oh. Starting off episode 5, we get a look into the daily life of everybody's favorite vampire, Nazuna. She starts off playing video games, but eventually gets bored. Later, she takes a bath and gets annoyed that vampires can't see themselves in the mirror since they don't have reflections. Once Nazuna finished her blood-sucking session with Ko, he feels a bit tired and wants to find a place to rest. God came in clutch and they ended up booking a love hotel as it was the closest thing available. Ko gets extremely embarrassed as he realizes where they are. Nazuna frankly doesn't care and puts on some adult videos at max volume to annoy the neighbors. Later, Ko wonders about how many people Nazuna sucked blood from. This leads to Ko realizing that Nazuna's quote-unquote services were actually quite lewd. One of the jobs she has is a professional massager. Nazuna tells Ko to take over the business for a while as she's busy. One of the customers Ko is in charge of is Kiyosumi Shirakawa, a 24-year-old burnt-out office worker. Nazuna begs Ko to do the massage and offers him 2,000 yen. Ko hasn't done a massage before, but Nazuna states he should just follow her instructions. Nazuna also tells him that if he does do it, she'll reward him with another kiss. Obviously, this gets the blood pumping and Ko agrees. Once the client arrives, Ko's hands work tirelessly over Kiyosumi's back, but his mind was on something else entirely, the 2,000 yen and a possible bonus kiss. During the massage, however, Kiyosumi's phone rings and it reveals that she has been forced to work endless night shifts at the whims of her pervert boss. Kiyosumi begins to cry and tries to leave the massage to go to work. Suddenly, Nazuna phases through the wall and throws Kiyosumi to stop her from having to go to work. That's one way to do it, I guess. Kiyosumi was freaking out, thinking she was going to become a sidewalk splatter. But then, out of nowhere, Ko takes a flying leap after her, and Nazuna swoops in to grab them both. After they land safely, Ko apologizes for his dramatics, but he just couldn't bear to let her go to work, when it was clearly making her so miserable. He tells her that if something's making her cry like that, she shouldn't have to deal with it. This triggers an emotional reaction from the office worker, and she thanks the two as she heads to work with a new view of the world. Immediately wanting something fun to do, Nazuna asks Ko to suggest what they should do next, and the pair end up going to a nighttime pool. As Nazuna goes to grab some drinks, Ko starts to wonder why she's showing more skin than usual and finds it surprisingly erotic. The people around them can't help but stare at Nazuna, who's clearly turning heads with her attractive looks. Suddenly, 2 guys try to hit on her, and Nazuna notices Ko's expression. Mischievously, she decides to tease him by saying that the person she came with might have already left. While she chats with the guys, Ko starts to feel a little jealous and can't resist pulling her away from them. Ko is not a fan of the nighttime pool scene, too many people and their opinions. He's not digging the fake friendliness either. Nazuna offers to take a dip, swoops him up, and leads him to a secluded pool. It's their school's pool. They make a splash in their clothes, and Nazuna apologizes for messing with them. It's all good, Ko's not tripping. Then, out of nowhere, Nazuna goes in for the bite. Ko's left feeling all sorts of things and wonders if Nazuna will clue him in.
見え張って何でも知ってるふりしてこうくんだ。
じゃあ大丈夫だ。俺も楽しかった。なずなちゃんが無事でよかったじゃないかと心配してたから。
Ko's out and the streets are packed. He's low-key stressing about bumping into someone he knows when someone shouts his name. He debates making a run for it, but instead, he turns around and sees Kiyosumi. Turns out, Kiyosumi got off work early and wants to thank Ko for helping him out the other day by treating him to a refreshing soft drink. Sweet. It's pouring rain, and Ko scrambles for cover. He notices a group of people huddled under a smoking area and spots a guy shamelessly hitting on a girl. But to Ko's delight, the girl turns him down flat. Suddenly, she catches Ko's eyes and gives him a friendly wave. As he cracks open his drink, the girl appears out of nowhere and strikes up a conversation. She's curious what he thought of the failed pickup, and Ko guesses that the guy's behavior must be annoying to women, but the girl surprises him by insisting that she actually enjoys getting hit on, using it as a way to pass the time when she's bored. Still, she assures Ko that she's selective about who she engages with, and that particular guy just wasn't her type. Ko was just chillin' with his drink when some girl swoops in and snatches it right out of his hand. Naturally, Ko ain't having none of that, so he follows her to get his drink back. But when he catches up to her, she's already chugged the whole damn thing. Turns out she's feeling pretty down lately, and nothing seems to be getting her excited. Ko can totally relate, so he tries to cheer her up and tells her everything's gonna be alright. She's so grateful, she gives him a big ol' hug and even says his full name. But just as things were looking up, in comes Nazuna with a slice and dice. She straight up cuts the girl's arm and declares Ko as her prey. The girl starts talking trash about Nazuna, saying she's spending too much time with humans and whatnot. Then she goes ahead and reattaches her own arm like it ain't no big deal and says she's gonna make a proper offspring out of Ko, or else she's gonna kill him. That's when things get really intense, cause she comes at Ko full speed ahead and Nazuna ain't having none of that. While Nazuna and the first girl are going at it, Ko starts to back off. But then some other girl shows up and stops him in his tracks. She tells Nazuna they're gonna borrow Ko and then straight up flies off with them. Nazuna manages to kick the first girl and asks where the other one took Ko. Phew, talk about a wild ride. Ko gets taken to a spot by another girl. There he finds 3 other ladies waiting for him. They start talking about how young he looks, which makes Ko realize they're all vampires. Then they drop a bomb on him. He's gotta pick one of them. Why, you ask? So that she can turn him into a vampire and spare him from becoming a liability. See, Ko knows too much about their kind, and that's no bueno for them. Tough choices, huh? Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Who is the best girl in all of anime? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out in a future video. Now, back to the recap. She introduces herself as Nico Hirata, the others as Midori Kohakobe, Hatsuka Suzushiro, and Kabura Honda, the one who brought him there. The one he met earlier is Seri Kikyo, and he can choose her too. Ko states he wants Nazuna, which surprises them. Ko's taste in women becomes the hot topic of gossip, and Nazuna shows up looking to take him away. The other girls are curious about how she plans to win him over, but Ko drops a bombshell. Nazuna found his blood delicious, so he's decided to become a vampire. They make a deal, she'll suck his blood and turn him into a vampire. Some of the other girls grumble, but Ko's determined to make this happen, no matter how long it takes. Ko's mind races as he tries to make sense of the situation. He turns to Nico, who delivers the crushing news. There's a time limit. Apparently, once you've been bitten, you have just 1 year to transform into a vampire, or you're out of luck. Shocked, Ko turns to Nazuna for answers, only to be met with a casual shrug and an admission that she completely forgot. As Akira trudges to school one morning, she's thrown off by Mahiro's unexpected presence. Turns out Mahiro had a wild night and conked out on the stairs. Akira, being the responsible student she is, questions Mahiro's late-night shenanigans. Mahiro reveals that he's got a thing for someone who's only available at night. Akira fears the worst. Could this mystery person be a vampire? but Mahiro looks confused and asks her what she means. Ko and Seri meet at night, but Ko tries to pull a sneaky move and run away. Seri catches him and teases him about his delicious blood. As they chat, Ko admits he's clueless about love. This gets Seri pumped up because she considers herself a love master. She shares her secret for getting closer to someone with Ko. A few nights later, Ko's on the hunt for Nazuna when he spots Mahiro getting cozy with some other people. His heart skips a beat, but he manages to chill out when Mahiro doesn't notice him. Turns out, Mahiru's still the same old Mahiru, but when she finally does see Ko, she stops to chat. After a little chit-chat, they go their separate ways. Get ready for some karaoke chaos in the next episode. Seri convinces Ko to come along, but things take a crazy turn when one of her past lovers shows up and tries to crash the party. The guy is clearly unstable, and when he bursts into the room, Ko knows that reasoning with him is not an option. Seri suggests taking him out, but Ko has other ideas. He charges the guy and manages to remove him from the room despite Seri's threats. With the lover on the run and the danger averted, Ko and Seri make a quick escape. But watch out, because Seri's not afraid to kill anyone who gets in her way. They escape and the guy asks Ko about his relationship with Seri, but Ko plays it coy and turns the question back on him. The guy confesses that he's smitten with Seri, but struggling to express his feelings. Ko encourages him to spill the beans, and the guy tells the story of how they met. He lost his glasses, Seri found them, and they fell in love over a drink. Suddenly, Seri appears and announces that it's time to kill the guy because, surprise, she's a vampire. Ko refuses to let her harm him, but before things get too heated, Nazuna intervenes and puts a stop to the madness. Turns out, she'd been eavesdropping on the whole conversation thanks to Ko's watch. As Seri and Akihito chat, they finally agree on something. Seri only wants to be buddies with Akihito, but he's still smitten. So, in the end, Seri turns Akihito into a vampire like her, and they all hit up karaoke to celebrate their new vampiric buddy. Midori's doing her thing at the maid cafe when she gets a message from her coworker bailing on their shift tonight. Bummer, right? But then she spots Nazuna and Ko walking in and her eyes light up. Why? Because Nazuna's not exactly a hit with the fellas, which means she won't cause chaos and mayhem like some other customers tend to. Score. Nazuna agrees to do a shift at the maid cafe and dresses as maid. Midori finishes work and excitedly plans to snap a photo of Nazuna for their social media. But wait, what's this? Some sneaky creep has posed pictures of Nazuna in her maid uniform, revealing her underwear from certain angles. Ko takes a closer look, and Midori and Nazuna immediately call him out as a total pervert. Yikes. The next day, at the maid cafe, Ko is looking at the pictures again and sees a picture where she is even changing clothes. Arisa comes in at that moment and sees him and tells him it's embarrassing when he stares like that. In order to catch the peeping Tom taking these pictures, Ko and Midori end up hiding in a closet together. In such a close proximity, Ko gets flustered as Midori's breasts push up against him. Let's just say they're not exactly giving him a lot of breathing room. Anyway, while they're in there, Ko fills Midori in on the situation. The pervert only strikes when Arisa's alone, and all the pictures were taken after closing time. So, they figure if they wait long enough, the perp will eventually show up, and hopefully they can catch him in the act. Ko busts open the locker and catches Arisa red-handed taking selfies. Oops, he apologizes for the intrusion, but demands an explanation. Arisa comes clean. She was feeling envious and fabricated the whole peeping Tom story just to score some attention. After a heartfelt apology, Ko forgives her and they put the drama behind them. Nazuna ended up liking the pay at the maid cafe and decides to work there from time to time. Nazuna sends Ko to scout for new cuddle buddy clients, so Ko scours the area for folks who look like they could use a serious snuggle session. Spotting a woman smoking on a bridge, Ko takes note of her drained expression and approaches her. He asks if she wants to chat, and she agrees, clearly in need of some relaxation. They go to a coffee shop, and Ko explains that he wasn't trying to hit on her, but that disappoints her a bit as she got excited for a moment. A young boy is interested in her, as she was feeling quite lonely recently. Ko wonders what she works as and she gives him a business card where he sees her name is Anko Uguisu and is a private detective, which excites him. Anko asks him if he is usually outside at this time and Ko confirms. She then asks if he knows Akihito Akiyama. However, Ko can't recognize the name. Anko then shows him a picture and states his friends call him Akun. A few nights later, Akira, Mahiru, and Ko sneak into school, hunting ghosts for some spooky fun. As they explore an abandoned classroom, they're met with a chilling surprise, a teacher transforming into a ferocious creature before their very eyes. The crazed teacher blames them for his loss of control and lunges at Akira. With a creepy preference for women, Mahiru bravely tries to intervene, while Ko stands frozen in confusion, until he snaps out of it and takes matters into his own hands, using a chair to push the attacker away. Something clicks inside Ko, and he realizes what they're really dealing with, a blood-sucking vampire. Anko then shows up and kills the vampire by using a personal item connected to him. Anko reintroduces herself and states she works on cases that sometimes involves missing people who went missing due to vampires. Ko wonders why she killed him, as she stated he was either way going to die today. Anko asks him if he should have lived a life as a monster. He struggled for 10 years not knowing what he became. She tells Ko that he knows nothing about the vampire and won't let him achieve his idiotic dream. Ko thinks of what Anko said and agrees that he doesn't know anything about vampires. He goes to see Nazuna, who is eager for some blood, and Ko agrees. However, as she hugs him to suck his blood, he is reminded of the teacher vampire that lost control and pushes her away. She wonders what happened and Ko tells her about the vampire who lost control. Nazuna guesses he was starving and could not control himself anymore. Later, Ko meets with Anko again and she gives him a choice: live as a human or become a vampire and get killed by her. This obviously shocks Ko and he runs home. On the way back, Ko meets the vampire Hatsuka and he takes Ko to his place. Hatsuka is obviously very sexually confusing, as he's actually a guy. The other vampires show up and give Ko an ultimatum. The only way to not be killed by the other vampires is to get Ko to fall in love with Nazuna and become a vampire himself. Ko states that he will fall in love with her and won't let her get bored. Nazuna promises to herself that she will become a vampire worth falling for, and then kisses Ko. What a way to end the series. Will our boy find true love and become a vampire for real? Find out when the second season comes out. Adios.